Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas. This is Joe Scarice, co-founder and co-host of the Creative Birth Strategies podcast, here on a special event on Christmas morning. We're here typically every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, providing education, networking, and opportunities. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. I'm going to do a quick share to see who's out there on Clubhouse World, and then we'll discuss another great subject of real estate. So we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. I'm just going to invite some people in, get started here, give our overview of the market, and we'll get rocking. So pretty excited about this. Figured get things rolling a little bit this morning. So first, I want to thank everybody and I hope everybody's having a blessed Christmas morning. That's one thing. Two, I want to thank our sponsors this past year that have been just so supportive of what we're doing and giving back to the real estate community in regards to education and real estate. Um, I want to thank Ms. Linda Pelagas from Realty 4-in-1, who provides national events and national publication for real estate professionals and investors. I want to thank MB Capital, where I'm a referral partner, where I provide uh, unsecured business lines of credit to real estate professionals throughout the country. I want to thank uh, Mr. Garrett L. Perkins of Perkatech, who provides our social media strategy, our architecture to our podcasting, video, etc. He's been a colleague and a friend, and we're now celebrating 1 year on the podcast, over almost 100 episodes. So very blessed to have partnership with him, friendship with him. We'll be spending Christmas together with our family, and I want to thank him. I want to thank uh, MB. I'm sorry. I want to thank Lenmark, where I'm a senior loan analyst providing uh, asset-based lending nationally for real estate professionals in the DSCR space, in the fixed to rent, fixed to flip, new construction, multifamily, mixed use, and now offering obviously white label marketing for individuals that want to broker or correspond our money and become the better lender, in regards to their circle of influence as well. I want to now thank our new collaboration with Elite Dealmakers, Mr. Jim Ingersoll, where we're now hosting Elite Dealmakers in Philadelphia, Elite Dealmakers in South Jersey, and soon to be Elite Dealmakers in Lehigh Valley. We are planning on also opening one up in the North Jersey market as well, determining where we're going to hold that. I feel that affiliation will go very well. It will tie in for me to speak at various elite deal makers that are opening up throughout the country on asset-based lending. So I'm very excited about that opportunity. And then I want to thank Mr. Yardell Perkins himself. He's been the Oz behind the drape for over a year. Not man of many words, but I'd like him to just kind of introduce himself to everyone and say hello and wish you Merry Christmas and kind of give a little dialogue of what we've been doing with the podcast and our social media branding over the last really the last 4 months. We've been very heavy going into 25 and kind of putting things together. So Yurdal, why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into our discussion emerging real estate investing trends 2025.
Hey, can everyone hear me all right?
Yep, I can hear you perfect.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas. As my good friend and business partner Joe said, my name is Yardell Perkins. My private firm is Perkatech. We're reshaping the power of connect voices. And my goal, particularly his assets, but anyone else's, is help organizations build and rebuild their digital presences and platforms. Typically, it's a combination of a website, digital marketing, and social media multimedia production plan. As far as what Joe and I have been doing directly with the website and all of our assets is we've just been aiming to scale up from a big picture perspective. We're actually starting to collaborate with larger contractors so that we can boost blasts and events to more places. And start just with this podcast alone, we're just working the black box of stuff behind the scenes that I could spend probably one of these whole mornings and episodes telling you about. Not that you probably want to hear it because it's a lot of stuff. Just making sure that this gets out to more people and more we find out about the education that he provides.
Thanks, Yardell. And Yardell, when we first started this a year ago, did you really think we were going to get close to 100 episodes?
I actually did, Joe, because I mean, going into this, when you told me about the idea, for me, it was one of those, why didn't we think of it sooner things? I mean, just based off of like your the branding and your scaling, what you've always done by yourself. I figured that once people found out that you're connected to it, as like they would come, as they say in the Field of Dreams. For me, it wasn't so much of a if we were going to hit that number, but when.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You and I have one thing in common. We like running individually. We don't run in a large pack in regards to how we do things and get things done in our worlds, whether it's social media or real estate. So I appreciate this partnership, our friendship. Look forward to hanging out and having Christmas dinner with you, with my family. So look forward to this. We'll jump into this if you want to stay on, or you want to go back behind the veil. Either way, you're always welcome here when I'm doing our presentations, of course.
I would like to say that one of my goals for myself, just to help you and just be a better benefit to the thing overall, is in 2025, I do plan to make more appearances and contribute more directly in these events and the subject matter. So yeah, you won't be seeing me. I'm going back behind the veil, as you say, just to prepare for later on. But I am going to be on more often.
Well, you're part of the elite deal makers as well, so that wouldn't be coming about if you weren't part of it. So we hold the one event every second Monday in Philadelphia, and the first Monday we'll get you over on the Jersey side to work from there, obviously to participate in that starting in the new year. So pretty excited about what we're bringing to the table now with the podcast coming through Clubhouse and all the other social media channels. And obviously, all of you can go to the website where Yardell personally designed, where you could find 90 plus almost podcasts that have been put up. We're advancing a lot of that onto LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And now we're going into X. And hopefully soon we'll be putting those clips on TikTok as well in the new year, but I'm very excited about our alliances and what we're going to be doing in 2025. And again, thank you, Yardell. And anybody that's really interested in expanding themselves in the social media presence, you should really reach out to him. Very humble, educated individual that understands social media, from the beginning. So thank you, Yardell.
Thank you.
So let's dive into our subject today, which is emerging real estate investing trends in 2025. We don't have a lot of moderators, so if anybody would like to raise their hand and come up, by all means, please do. The real estate market is constantly evolving, and 2025 is expected to bring new trends and opportunities for investors based on current market dynamics and forecasts. These are some of the emerging real estate investing trends I've put together to watch out for in 2025. And number one is small cities, big appeal. Smaller cities are becoming increasingly attractive to investors due to their affordability, lower cost of living, and growing demand for housing. These cities offer a more relaxed pace of life, lower crime rates, and stronger sense of community, making them appealing to renters and homebuyers alike. The number two is the demand for green buildings. With the growing concern for climate change and sustainability, green buildings are becoming more popular among investors and tenants. Building with energy efficient features such as solar panels, green roofs are in high demand, and investors who prioritize sustainability are likely to see higher returns on their investments. And number three, renters are on the rise, and we're talking about this. The rental market is expected to continue growing in 2025, with people choosing to rent rather than buy. This trend is driven by affordability concerns, flexibility, and desire for amenities and services that come with renting. And then there's shifting office dynamics, number four. The office market is undergoing significant changes with a shift towards more flexible and amenity-rich spaces. Investors who adapt to these changes by providing modern, well-designed offices with amenities such as co-working spaces, gyms, and cafes are likely going to attract a high-quality tenant and achieve higher rents. I mean, let's be honest. If Yardell and I have a great office in South Philadelphia, but if they moved it to the Navy Yard and there was a gym and showers and all that other stuff, I'd probably be living out of my co-working space. But number five Data centers and senior housing. Emerging trends in real estate investing are also including data centers and senior housing. Data centers are high demand due to the growing need for cloud storage and computing, while senior housing is becoming increasingly important as the population ages. You're going to see a lot of that leveraging against malls because of the retail concerns. They're going to start leveraging senior housing where a lot of seniors like to walk through the malls during the day. It's better, it's obviously self-contained weather. So I think that's going to be a huge movement going into 25. Then there's AI in commercial real estate. Artificial intelligence is transforming commercial real estate industry from property management to investment analysis. Investors who leverage AI can gain a competitive edge by making more informed decisions, optimizing operations, and improving tenant experiences. I use AI all the time for a lot of my write-ups when I'm putting together information for these podcasts and also for my articles that I post. Flexible leasing arrangements. Flexible leasing arrangements are becoming new normal in commercial real estate investors who offer flexible lease terms, such as shorter lease durations or rent reductions, can attract a wide range of tenants and reduce vacancy rates. There's prop tech replacing legacy tools. And then there's digital real estate transactions. I see a lot of this going digital, especially in title, virtual tours, mortgage applications. Investors who adapt to these changes can reduce transaction costs, increase efficiency, and improve the overall buying and selling experience. Alternative investment management, such as Blackstone, are playing a significant role in shaping the real estate market. The companies offer ranges of investment strategies and products from private equity real estate investment trusts as REITs and are increasingly influential in the global real estate market. Emerging real estate investing trends in 2025 are shaped by changing market dynamics, technological advancements, and shifting consumer preferences. Investors who stay ahead of the curve by adapting to these trends can achieve higher returns, reduce risk, and build more sustainable, resilient portfolio. So we're going to dive a little bit now into where I feel like the top cities are to invest in 2025. Some of them are pretty interesting. I think a lot of them make a lot of sense. Top cities for real estate investment in 25 are expected to be driven by factors such as affordability, job growth, and demographic trends. Based on current market dynamics and forecasts, these are some of the more promising cities I've put together that have caught my eye for real estate investment in 2025. Number one, the Boston, Cambridge, Newton, Massachusetts, New Hampshire market. Strong economy, high quality educational system, and innovative industries such as biotechnology and software development. Number two is Charlotte, Concord, Gastonia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I feel like Charlotte is becoming this major financial hub, and surrounding areas experience rapid growth due to their affordability and business-friendly environment. Number three, and I've been there, I've been to all these markets so far. So Grand Rapids, Kenwood, Michigan. I think Grand Rapids is a city in Western Michigan that is experiencing a resurgence in economic growth, driven by strong manufacturing sector and innovative industries such as craft brewing and furniture production. I'll be out there in the early spring for an event. Number four is Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville is a very vibrant city with thriving music scene, growing healthcare industry, and a strong economy. Number five is South Florida. I think there's, that Miami, Fort Lauderdale is still a popular destination for real estate investors due to its strong tourism industry, growing population, and limited housing supply. Texas is a large, diverse state with many cities that are attractive to real estate investors, including Austin, Dallas, and Houston. So they come in at number 6 on my numbers. Number 7 is Colorado Springs, Colorado. Is a city located in the base of Pikes Peak and with a strong economy, driven by a military presence, tourism industry, and innovative sectors such as cybersecurity and software development. Number 8 is Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's a coastal city with strong economy, driven by its military presence, tourism industry, and innovative sectors such as aerospace and defense. I'll be in Virginia probably every third month for some events down there. Number 9 is Richmond, Virginia, which I will be down there in March for a big event with elite deal makers. It has a strong economy driven by the government sector, educational system, and innovative industries such as biotechnology and software development. And number 10 Rounds off at Phoenix is a large number 10 is a large and growing city with strong economy driven by its tourism industry, innovative sectors such as software development and renewable energy, and is a business friendly environment. There's a couple small cities that are not mentioned, which I like. I like Oklahoma City. I like Tulsa, Oklahoma. I like Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I like Akron and Dayton, Ohio. I like there was one other one that was top of my head, and I can't think of it right now. Spartanburg and Columbia, South Carolina. But there was one other market that was the tip of my brain, and I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But these are some of the markets you want to think about being an out-of-state landlord and looking at the opportunities. Lower barrier of entry, longer-term tenants, good area, low on the crime, good on the education, the job opportunities. It doesn't always have to be based on Section 8 and affordable housing. Good morning, Justin. Merry Christmas. Welcome. Thanks for coming on this morning. He's been a consistent moderator for us for the past year. I don't know if you know, Justin, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary as the Creative Birth Strategies podcast. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, that's amazing, brother. That's amazing. That's wonderful. I'll just speak to my consistency, right? One of the reasons that I tried to make sure early on, man, when the show was set up a lot differently, was part of that, man. It was important to reintroduce certain levels of consistency when it came to networking, educating myself weekly, not just once a month at a RIA or something else. It's a wonderful space for us to come and exercise our real estate intellect weekly, keep our brain and blood flowing as professionals. It's taken some consistency, it's taken some maneuvering, but I'm sure it has as well on your side to host this space, reproduce this space as a podcast, and do the things you're trying to do to get it launched. And by the way, I think we had a conversation, but we'll continue a conversation offline about me taking a step further and possibly doing more than just wearing a green badge here and bringing some of my skill set, my ideas that I have that I think could grow this thing and help us reach more people, not just on Clubhouse, but I think one of the more special things about even when Shane was around is when we were able to get together and connect that time. So, but we also had built up a rapport, and we had built up some other things that allowed that. So I'm excited to lean back into that. I'm always excited to be here, Joe. So, yeah, definitely, man. That's exciting.
I appreciate that, Justin, and I appreciate our friendship and our business association here on the podcast. My question to you, you've been debating about moving out of your area now and maybe moving to Texas. Has something changed or shifted in what you're seeing from an emerging trend for yourself? As an investor, as a contractor, as a professional service. What do you see for yourself over the next year? You're going into the new year. I'm not a big fan of setting goals by the year. I like to set goals almost by the week or the month or by the quarter. But what do you foresee yourself going into the new year as we get up to the holidays here? In your business, has your model changed over the last year going into next year? Like, what are some of your plans?
I would say I've definitely made some adjustments in how I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I've been juggling, man, how am I going to? Well, first of all, I set a goal for myself, right? I've been probably saying I'm going to arrive in Dallas for about 2 years now. And I've been serious. This has not been like just being hoping and wishing. I've made connections out there. I've connected with family. I've connected with chambers out there in Dallas. I was even working with some folks, and they were starting another group. So I've connected with intentions to really plant my flag there and continue my professional career. My goal, my reasoning for doing so is twofold. It's really it's based on my family and my family's needs, right? It's based on me utilizing my potential. in a better space. Yeah, you can be good anywhere, yeah, but I don't like the rules they play by local. And also the opportunity that's here is not even close to the opportunity that's in Dallas. I feel like I've connected with some good people now, fortunately. Some of them are from Clubhouse, actually, and not just Dallas, Houston, too. But the opportunity there, number one, for my children in school, and so on and so forth, is a big thing for me. And like I mentioned, just business opportunity for the different things that I do, right? That I spend my time with, the skill sets that I've developed, and it can say that I'm good enough at this to, within 30, 60 days to be able to put the food on the table with it. So that probably involves what I'm doing now, project management as well. But it will most certainly involve a plan to, get back. And it certainly involves getting back into, I'll probably use my license a little bit, just to get me to a certain financial point so I can do the investing that I want to do here, right? And the goal, as far as buying properties and so on and so forth, is to buy my time back. And so for me, that's the first step. The right partnership to do that, with one or two properties, actually, right? But that's not how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking to hit a grand slam, right? I'm looking to take digestible bite sizes out of what I need to do and what I can do with what's in front of me, and knowing I'm gonna get to my destination. So yeah, definitely planning to get there. I set some pretty hardcore deadlines on me arriving there, Joe, and I think I got a plan. There are a couple of things I'm gonna have to knock out, but I do have a plan, and I'm working it. And it's just really a step up, man. It's not like I'm in a position to just say, hey, I'm gonna jump and move to Dallas because I like the way the real estate trend is going out there. No, I don't advise for that either. I really don't, because those things change. It's even changed in the time that I've talked about it, right? So certain values have had marginally, they've had a significant decrease in certain prominent Dallas areas and so forth. So just like things went up, they went up too high, that come back down, and that put people in a bad spot. That's happened out there as well. But remember, I still have I'm blessed to have a laundry list of skill sets, right, to any sort of deal that I need to get into. And in a place where there are more of them, I'm willing to take those odds.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and I could tell that was a completely unscripted thoughts from you, Justin. So I mean, guys, a lot of, when our moderators come up, they don't have a whole script ready to rock and roll. They're doing it right from their heart, when we're having these discussions, and they're giving their real personal opinion. And I'm going to do a quick segue because of what Justin was just talking about. Some of the goals you want to kind of look for yourself, as we go through this holiday time. Setting a net worth goal and improving your deal analysis skills. Like, we're having a full-blown workshop January 11th. We're going to spend a good portion of the day diving into how to underwrite your deals, how to price loans out, understanding worksheets to better pencil your deals down. Okay. And I'm doing it at a very low barrier of entry. It's a $5 donation. I just want people to have a little skin in the game, show up, and be engaged. And we're going to stay there till everybody walks away, understanding how to underwrite their deals, and continually educating yourself about real estate, and building and diversifying your portfolio, and growing your network, and growing your team. Like, my schedule in January and February are different completely from the previous 3 months. Like, I'm doing a whole 180 or 360 or whatever I'm doing. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to the same stale type of events. I'm going to keep emerging with new type of opportunities for myself, and getting myself in front of people that I haven't met before. I want to break that opportunity, that barrier. I don't want to see. I mean, not that I don't want to see people, the same people, but I mean, when you're a real estate investor, you have to have short and long term goals, and the best strategy for them is to depend on how your financial goals and risk tolerance and your investment horizon. I'm very blessed to have a company that supports me through my growth. Okay, and out there meeting and greeting different people. I mean, if you saw my schedule in the month of December, your head would have been spinning. But you know what? Like, I'll give you an example. I went to a holiday party Monday night and I met people I would have never met if I didn't go there. It was a completely different event. I probably haven't been in that building in over 30 years. It was near my alumni where I went to college. And it was a holiday party for the city of Newark and the mayor. And guess what? I met a lot of great people. And there's a lot of opportunities that are going to come from it. I already got follow-up emails and calls. So you got to look at choosing between short-term and long-term real estate investment goals, and it's meeting new people and staying engaged with the current people as well, whether it's through a CRM, whether it's through your video work, whether it's your postings and your blogs. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a strategy, okay? And also, you need to understand what are the trends that you need that are going to be key factors when investing in real estate in 25. You need to understand supply dynamics. What is the local supply and demand dynamics, in the real estate inventory in that market? What about the location? Also, what is the property type? Is it a 1 through 4? Is it a mixed use? And does that change your lending criteria on the way in or out? Does it have a commercial piece to the property that changes the dynamics? And it will. So you got to be very careful looking at these low barrier of entry mixed use buildings with a storefront and a couple of apartments. The lending changes. And what is the potential for renovations and value add? You need to understand where your experience level doesn't match up with the deal. And then infrastructure, the quality of the local infrastructure, your support staff. Are there good subcontractors? Are there good GCs? Are there good property management or maintenance? And what's the diversification of economies in those cities where you're trying to invest? Is it a diversified job market? Is it the economy diverse, providing a steady stream of tenants and buyers, reducing the risk of investment? And understanding market analysis, where essential when investing into real estate. Like, investors should research the local market trends, property values, rental rates, and the overall health of the local economy. And then research and due diligence. Investors should conduct thorough research and due diligence before making any investment decisions, including researching the local market trends, property values, rental rates, the overall health of the local economy. Investing in real estate in 25 requires careful consideration of several key factors that in conducting research and analyzing local market trends and understand the potential risks and returns, and make informed decisions on achieving high returns in your investments. What might be one of the more important economic indicators to analyze when considering real estate investments, right? You need to understand interest rates. Do I feel interest rates are going to go down in the first quarter? No, I don't. I don't think we're going to see interest rate shifts in any favorable way probably till the third quarter. I mean, the Fed's already indicated they're only going to do 2 more Fed cuts potential in 2025. So it's really up to the stock market and the Treasury, the bond play, to see what happens there. I think it's going to make a crucial role for home buying, and it's going to make a crucial role for investors in 2 different ways. I think you're going to have a lethargic spring market for home buying. You're going to have a very exciting opportunity for investors, because if the rate works at 7 or 8%, it's going to certainly work at 5 or 6% when rates come down. You could take advantage of that as an investor. All that's going to do is create more opportunity for yourself in cash flow and cash on cash return. And it's also going to bring opportunity and appreciation with better cash flow. And you got to look at the economic growth and what is your market seeing on economic growth, and what are inflation rates looking like in your market. It's a crucial indicator, to watch. Investors should analyze local inflation trends and determine how they may impact the real estate market. And then also understanding supply and demand, population growth. Are certain cities losing population, right? And what are the unemployment rates? Not the national unemployment rates. What does unemployment rates look like in your market that you're investing in? And what are the land values? Is there development opportunities? Can you do some new construction? Can you do new builds? Does it make sense? And how's the rental growth? I foresee rental growth not there in 2025. I see it's going to kind of stay level in certain markets. I think affordable housing is going to kind of play into the market rents. And then understanding property management and maintenance. Like, you can't depend on your property management company to do everything. You gotta have a bullpen. If you don't have a bullpen, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I just don't see rates changing that much where it's going to make that much of an impact in home buying. How do interest rates and inflation and employment rates, in top, so what are they going to be the trends to look at? You have to dive into the neighborhoods. You got to dive into the cities and do due diligence. I referenced a lot of top cities just recently that look like great opportunities, but have you visited them? Like, I'm going to be very focused on east of the Mississippi. I'm going to stay, within my, East Coast opportunities, unless something presents itself where I can do a presentation to realtors on the asset-based lending fundamentals. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do that type of travel. I see so many opportunities within 12 states of where I'm at. If anything it comes in with after that, outside those states, it's great. And those relationships will be great. But I hope I can build more relationships in the broker correspondent space. I want to make sure people can actually learn. If you know how to lend money to others, you're now a real estate professional, a true real estate professional. You understand how to price the loan out yourself. I think that's very important. And also, taking care of your health going into 2025. That's an emerging trend. I watch my meal intake every single day. Like, during this entire week, I'm having my protein shake in the morning and one meal, and it's all protein. Okay, because I want to keep my clarity. I want to keep my energy levels up. I want to go to the gym every day. I don't want to have to set a whole new goal to go to the gym starting January 1. I know when I go to LA Fitness on New Year's Day, the place is going to be packed because there's all this level of regret and catch up. I don't want to be in that position. I want to be very consistent and continuous with what I do in trying to provide good vibes through my good health to others. Okay. If people see me in good health and I'm moving and grooving, they're going to start moving and grooving. They got to keep up with me. Now, I don't have to keep up with them. You want to be in that type of position. So, Justin, I want to come back to you. We might cut this a little short because, we don't have a lot of other moderators, but what's some thoughts about, going into the new year with a healthy mindset and, changing up who you're hanging out with and what type of events you're attending? I think Justin went on to a call. We'll try to grab him on the way out. If anybody would like to raise their hand, I'll go into a little more details about mortgage rate predictions, what comes next. We'll wait till Justin comes back. But, the Federal Reserve carried out its third interest rate cut last week. The mortgage rates rose higher. So the average 30-year fixed rate jumped back up to November high of around 7% plus. So this seesaw is going to impact single family through 4 family. This seesaw is going to impact 5 units to 15 units, small balance multifamily. I had a discussion with somebody. I think rates are going to come down. That's great, but your rates are not going to. Right now, your rate is what it is. And 2, this guy's I give an example. I'm working with a client that he's in a bridge loan that's expiring in January. So listen, you're going to pay $10,000 to extend your bridge to think that the rates might come down in January or February. Do you know how that does not make sense? Take the rate, take the appraisal, close, watch the market. If you're going to start trying to throw nickels against the wall to make dollars, it's just not going to work out. Okay? Mortgage rates are driven by investor expectations and shifts in the bond yield. Overall, investors care more about the Fed's future outlook for rate cuts than one individual cut. Given strong economic data, the Fed is projecting a slower pace of rate cuts next year. So if you think your rates are going to be 6% next year, you're definitely miscalculating, which will keep mortgage rates elevated in the near term unless economy weakens. And experts say mortgage rates are unlikely to fall significantly over the course of 2025. We're not making things up here, okay? Markets are the markets were heavily weighing remarks by Fed Chair Powell this past week, okay? And it's surrounding a lot of the thoughts and mindset of President-elect Donald Trump's proposals, and how will that impact the bottom line for ourselves, our economy, domestically. I think we're in for a very bullish market going into 25. I think you got to look at the lower barrier of entries, a single family through four family, and I would run your rates at 8%. And if it works at 8%, it's certainly going to work at 7% on the back end. If you're going to do a fixed to rent, make sure that deal works based on 8%. And then if your rate comes in at 7, high 6s or low 7, you're doing great. If you're looking to do a fixed to flip, you better be understanding your market and making sure that you're coming in within the reason of the value, not overpricing a property and letting it sit there and turning into a white elephant. Okay. So you got to be very cautious on the flipping. And then in the 5 units to say 15 unit, you really got to look at rates in the 7s or even 8s right now if you're looking for 30-year money in the DSCR space. So if you're using 8.25 on a 30-year fixed and it works at a 5 unit through 15 and it's a DSCR, and you get any better than that, you're way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game. So you really need to look at some calculated risk and what's going on in the economic growth, what's employment looking like, what's the unemployment rate looking like, what's the participation rate looking like, what's inflation looking like, what's monetary policy looking like, wage growth. Is there wage growth? Is there residential investment? Do you need to create another revenue stream in your real estate space? Like, I don't know why, if you're all here being real estate professionals, why aren't you also becoming a correspondent in the lending space and learning from the inside out? If you understand lending, you're going to be that much stronger of a real estate investor. And understanding housing prices and understanding comps. I had 3 disputes on comps this past week, and they were justifiable detail why they won't increase the values. Somebody was trying to make a house a 2-bedroom when it was officially only a 1-bedroom. And we broke down the reason why. Somebody made a mistake, and it wasn't us. And the appraiser was extremely detailed to why he won't increase the value. So you need to be very sharp and on your feet when it comes to appraisals and comps in your market and looking at after repair value. Everything starts at after repair value. Everything starts at the market rent of that property. Justin, any additional thoughts to our discussion this morning? Emerging real estate investing trends 2025.
Yeah, man. I heard you. I heard you trying to call me in last time. I forgot what you said. Trying to lead me into that question. My thought going into the market is depending on what you're gonna do. I think it's gonna be really good. As far as things coming back. Well, I'm speaking from my own opinion and perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that it's time to flip a house again if you see an opportunity to flip a house. You know what you're doing. I think it's that time. I think we're at a time where there's still folks who have properties that are quote unquote problem properties that they're either willing to sell or less than updated properties that they put it on your market. This is going to be market based, locally based, right? When we're talking about this specific strategy, I think that the opportunity for that is coming up again. To be able to get the house that needs updating for a discount or for the property whether it be a commercial property. It's another thing. In fact, it's talking about residential homes, that you be able to take advantage of that discount, depending on your quote unquote design or what level of renovation you're doing. You should be able to put it back on the market, you know, for a significantly high price. So that's just my thoughts. Is what I see. I see home buyer prices gonna be. I see them going up a little bit. Right. It's not gonna be. We can forget about the type of knee-jerk reaction responses that we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. I think that the normal is changing, and I think it's going to change again. I think there's going to be available for folks to buy property again, and I think they're going to be doing just that. And I think the increase in price will be reflected. So those are my thoughts that's my first thought for 2025. I think everything else, in my opinion, is pretty consistent. It's starting to level out if you're doing development, if you're doing multifamily, commercial, parts of home, eights, and all that stuff. You should be back in a place where you're more comfortable to underwrite at interest rate and have confidence in it for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that I think we're entering back into in 2025 is a place where people who do larger deals are going to be more comfortable with what they're being told and what they're seeing in markets, right? Because for the past 3 years, everybody's had to be really, really on their toes. And you still need to be on your toes. Extremely, you had to be extremely poised and ready to pivot the past couple of years just because things have not been as consistent as they need to be. So that's my thoughts. I think we're going to a reliable place, and I think that's correct.
So I'm going to add to that, Justin. Do I think the NAR lawsuit changed the real estate agent profile forever? Yes, I do agree. I think it's made a massive pivot. I see a lot of realtors getting out of the business. I see a very large percentage not renewing their licenses. And the realtors that are coming into the market, or the ones that are sticking around, are embracing the fact that home buying is on the pointing down, and that the real estate investor is pointing up. And they either need to get proficient with real estate investing or be part of the real estate investing themselves, because the whole negotiation and transparency of the commission now is the biggest negotiating factor that's ever been present in real estate sales than ever before. And the individual that controls the listing or controls the flip or the renovated property on both sides of the deal will be the victor in 2025. And I'm seeing more real estate investors and real estate wholesalers getting their licenses to justify the reason of being the go-to real estate investor friendly agent in their market. I saw 50% of the realtor base gone at the NAR Realtor Expo in Boston. They expected 10,000 people. There was maybe 3,500 people, 4,000 people. Triple Play, they claimed there was going to be 5,000 or 6,000 people. I think there was about 2,500 people, half the vendor base. And I can tell you, most of the vendor base that was at NAR in Boston will not return. It was cannibalized by Bank of America and Homes.com, and most of the people didn't even come to see the other booths. So there was no cost-benefit relationship in those type of environments. Also, I see realtor associations in trouble. I don't see them as active at all. I see no activity by doing any type of external functions to attract or collaborate with their current database of people that they're responsible for. I can tell you for a fact, the local realtor association here in my market didn't even have a holiday party for their current people or did they didn't even notify anybody? They have no events or activities scheduled at all the past quarter, other than one little event in September. It's terrible. There's more real estate investor friendly realtors organizing events for their markets to recruit than the realtor associations combined. I know one individual right now having 3 different events in 3 different markets, and he's going to have more people at a real estate at those events than a realtor association meeting. That's kind of disgraceful if you think about it. But it also lets you know where you need to fish for new opportunities for yourself. And I think the flipping houses in 2025 will still be considered a viable real estate investment strategy for investors who are comfortable with the risk that and can identify good deals, but it may not offer the same high returns as previous years due to a more stable market, potentially higher competition, and potentially lower profit margins. Careful market analysis and a focus on efficient project management are crucial for success. I'm also seeing wholesaling changing. I see wholesalers becoming licensed realtors. I see wholesaling fees going down. And this is all based on some key points to consider: market conditions, competition, cost considerations, local market analysis. Some strategies you want to succeed in 2025 and leveraging: focusing on cosmetic updates, partnering with reliable contractors, accurate property valuation, and market niche expertise. These are things you need to consider. I mean, if you're a licensed realtor and you're listening down below, you might not like what I have to say. Okay? I'm not telling you it's the best thing in the whole wide world to do what I'm saying here, but take some pieces of this. And is the BRRRR strategy still a viable strategy in 2025? I think more so than ever. I think identifying properties that need, based on a purchase price and under 50% of the renovation cost and based on the after repair value, there's still a great opportunity to be a landlord. Do I think the cannons to the head with the landlord in some markets? Yeah, it's communism. If anybody wants to taste the communism, become a landlord in some of these really poorly set up urban cities. They'll put the screws to you. They'll arrest you. Okay? You don't really control your own property. The bad tenants do. So collaborating with a good landlord-friendly attorney that understands the laws and keeps you in check up and above whatever the property management company tells you is going to be very important. You need to surround yourself with smart attorneys, smart bookkeepers, smart CPAs, smart agents, or be the smart agent. Good general contractors, good maintenance people, button-up guys, button-up gals, good painters. What we would do for a great painter in some of our markets, right? Nobody wants to paint anymore, right? Not cutting deals with your tenants. You are the landlord. They are the tenant. They pay you rent. You treat the property correctly so they pay you rent. Understanding affordable housing laws for you or against you. Seeing where trends go. Seeing where transportation is moving. Seeing where there's viable opportunities for you to grow as a landlord. I'm not revisiting and hosting these events of education because I just want to host these events. I want to surround myself with engaged, creative investors that are going to take advantage of chaos. When there is chaos, there is opportunities. And when there's opportunities, there's money to be made. There's revenue streams out there. I love multiple revenue streams. Like, why aren't you creating multiple revenue streams for yourself? There's so many of them in real estate. So many of them. You couldn't believe the amount of accessibility that a real estate professional has in providing multiple revenue streams that complement one another. Justin, some final thoughts in regards to emerging trends, real estate investing trends in 2025.
Yeah, I'll start, I guess, to the agent piece and stuff like that. I assume different people get their license for different reasons. But when I was 20 years old, I knew at some point, I wanted to step my foot into into real estate as an investor and expand beyond that. Uh, that 14th grade is really kind of where I'm at. However, it's been a wild journey. I do believe I could have done much better for myself in this time, but I have accumulated a multitude of strategies, not from being an agent, but from more so the same energy and the same thing that motivated me to be an agent motivates me to continue to educate myself, to try things, right? To gain other skills. And so for me, getting a real estate license was a tool. I started working with the company I started working with was the chosen listing agent back then, HUDHomestore.com chose brokerages by the region in my area, specifically for sure, to list probably about 90% of their properties. And so we were one of those brokerages. And not only that, I had a job at that company inspecting these properties weekly. So I learned the process about that. I learned the process of working with management companies, and associated with. So you learn different things is my point. And what you learn, you should take from it. For me, getting a license is a tool that you can build yourself up as a professional in a multitude of directions. That's what I recommend to any agent that comes to my company. It's not about you making me rich as an agent. You're going to keep 90% of your commission. It's not even about that. It is about you. I know what my goals were, and that was to be able to open up my resume with something that's a true profession that I can, depending on how I treat it, let me emphasize on that, right? And then I could build myself up in other areas on, and I've done that as well. My goal is not to just buy properties. I have, dive further into development of affordable housing specifically. So these are the things that it's taking time to work towards, right? Including getting into construction a little bit, right? I'm not saying everybody needs to take this path at all. What I'm saying is understand your why if you're an agent. And if that means pivoting to something else, go ahead and pivot. But, if your goal is to be the number one seller, right? That is your goal. Then what you need to do. There are scripts and there are instructions to do that. And so that's the way I view it. I think everybody should use that as a tool to build themselves, Joe. Especially going forward in 2025 is a great time to market yourself, but make sure you're serious and make sure you have intentions, because the folks just trying to do it on a survival state are gonna, they're gonna have to make some bad mistakes and potentially could. I'm not gonna say they have to. That's not right to say that. But I would say the potential to make a mistake is, as a realtor working with investors, is high, and just because of the nature of the business, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, those are my thoughts, man. Keep prepared to give it.
Absolutely. And it ties into revenue streams. It ties into learning more layers within your industry. Okay. Understanding your market, being open to constructive criticism, diversification within real estate, planning for the long term, trusting yourself, building stronger networks, committing for the long haul, diversifying your portfolio, securing financing, understanding your LLC and you, right? Understanding your credit capabilities, right? Exploring real estate investment options, considering maybe property management. Maybe real estate sales is not for you, and maybe real estate property management might be a better play. Embracing teamwork and setting clear investment goals. Like, I'm very clear in what I'm trying to accomplish with my social media brand and my presence, and working with Yardell on our database mining and expanding our CRM and getting in front of more people, opening the opportunity to others, okay, and pro sharing in my data mining and getting in front of more people and trying new events, creating new events with others. I mean, I'm partnering with more people. I'd rather spend $300 to $500 5 to 10 times a month than going to the bigger events at $1,500 to $3,000 a month in 2025. I feel like the British Bulldog mentality compared to the Spanish Armada makes a lot more sense. Meeting more people in smaller venues of 25 to 50 people, experimenting with new events as well. Like, I'm looking at some events in January that I probably would never go to. Like the event I went to Monday night, I would have never went to this past year. But I had an opportunity to go to a investor group meeting where I might see the same people, or go to an investor group meeting, a political real estate meeting where I got to meet great people, new people that I never met before. So, it's called transformation and creating possibilities for yourself. These are the most important factors going into 2025, along with all the emerging real estate investing trends. I definitely do see the real estate agent profile changing. It's changing already. I think it's going to change even more so going into the first quarter. I see the type of events that investors are going to attend, as well as real estate agents, are going to change. The dynamics are going to change. The discussions are going to change. I think you got to be a smarter pivoter in timing things and working smarter instead of harder, and building more revenue streams. If you want to talk about that, we can have an off Clubhouse chat or off podcast chat, and what that looks like and how that can impact you and make you that much more diversified as a go-to individual in your space. So I think there's a lot of things to think about going into 2025 with emerging real estate investing trends. I think home buying is going to be stagnant. I think inventory is going to be up. And I think the opportunity of fixing and flipping, or fixing and rehabbing and holding, I see the importance is more going toward, obviously, BRRRR than ever before. I just don't see the appeal for people to make moves, especially the people that got 3% rates on their houses. They're not selling. Unless they pass away or something shifts in their market, they're not going anywhere. Why would I leave a rate of 3% and go somewhere else to pay 7%? It really makes no sense. 0 sense. So I think you really need to consider, how do you create that inbound lead traffic for yourself? How do you create that interested parties, people that want to follow you, connect with you, have conversations with you? But also setting boundaries too. Hey, listen, if it's 9 o'clock at night, if they're calling you for an inquiry, don't worry. Let the call go to voicemail. Or if they don't leave a voicemail, which is now the new common trend, just call that number back in the morning when you're more coherent and you're more relaxed. You need to have time for yourself to breathe your brain out, right? And allow those things to keep that creativity going. Nothing gets accomplished at 9, 10 o'clock at night, right? In real estate. Call that person back with a fresh brain, a fresh mindset, 9 a.m. in the morning. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not missing a thing. Like, some people were trying to call me last night on Christmas Eve. I'm out with dinner with my family and friends. Nothing will get accomplished between then and tomorrow. And every one of them, I'll have a return phone call post 8:30 in the morning tomorrow morning when I'm back from the gym. Because number one, I got to take care of my health first thing in the morning. So take care of your health. If you're not taking your health, take a look at the mirror and say, what can I do differently? I did that the past month and a half, 2 months. I saw the one thing that I wasn't doing right, and I fixed it. And my gosh, I feel so much better. So there's a lot of things up and above real estate are emerging. It's your lifestyle. It's how you treat yourself. It's how you treat others. It's how you build your team out. Being the better real estate professional, providing insight, providing strategy. We have some great events coming up in January. We have Health is Wealth in Real Estate, January 6th. January 11th, we have our workshop on asset-based lending fundamentals, providing also white label marketing education, how to underwrite your own deals, pricing your own deals out. That we have the State of the Market in Philadelphia with Kevin Gillen, January 13th. And then I'm sponsoring a bunch of other events as well. But those are the three that I'm featuring for myself with others here in the market of the South Jersey, Philadelphia area. And you can make that asset-based lending course and make a weekend out of it in Philadelphia. Please let me know, and we'll get that all scheduled. I want to thank Mr. Yardell Perkins this past year. We're celebrating a 1-year anniversary of our podcast. We have close to over 100 episodes. We will continue this going into this year every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and love you to join us as well here on Clubhouse, who has been a great fan of ours, and we're a fan of them, and we're going to keep that relationship going. And I want to thank our sponsors this past year and some of our new. I want to thank Mr. Yaro Perkins of Perkatech, Ms. Linda Pelagas of Realty 411. I'd like to thank MB Capital. I'd like to thank Lendmark Capital. And I'd like to thank now our new relationship with Elite Deal Makers, where we're providing educational events throughout South Jersey, Philadelphia market as well. And my name is Joe Screese, co-founder and co-host of the Creative Birth Strategies podcast. Love to have a one-on-one with you, have a discussion, follow up. If you want to reach out to me, post the Clubhouse podcast here or the podcast we have live, please feel free to do so. And my quote this morning, it's you versus your excuses. Have a great Christmas. Be blessed. We'll be here Sunday morning, 9 a.m. And everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas with your friends and family. And I'll be ending the room in the next 30 seconds. Thank you.